Hey, what's up, guys? We're back today for another installment of my Hawkeye review discussion. Today, we're going to talk about episode three. I'm a little late with episode three just because I'm actually on vacation right now. I'm in Texas. So, yesterday was like, traveling day. Today, I'm settled in and now I could, talk about the episode. So, episode three is called Echoes, and it kind of focuses, not kind of focuses, but there is a focus at the beginning of the episode for the character Echo, which was introduced in the episode prior. At the end of the episode, you kind of get her as a reveal. So they kind of show her backstory, which I thought was really well done. It was done fairly quickly. You get the gist of the character. You obviously see that she's deaf. She is an amputee, and she's really good at fighting. She's been training to fight since she was a child. She cares a lot about her father. They have a really strong relationship. He's in the Tracksuit Mafia gang, passes away. The way they showed all that, I thought was really good. And not to brush over the fact that how he passed away was that he was murdered by Ronin or someone wearing the costume of Ronin. Now, they fast forward and they go back to Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, being interrogated, and then that's when they meet and things like that. So I thought this was probably the first two episodes I thought were good. I had really no complaints. I think the third episode was a step above that regardless. The character interactions I thought were a little bit stronger. The dialogue and things like that. The Tracksuit Mafia, they weren't as I don't know, cheesy or as campy as the last two episodes. I thought the action scene was one of the best that I've seen in the MCU's Disney Plus level of shows. I thought it was the best cinematically. It was amazing. If you go back and watch it, just the fact of how the car chase was filmed is something that's extremely difficult to do. The minute the car chase starts, it's on a continuous, you know, um, recording. There is no cut for most of the car chase. You just see they have a camera, probably on some kind of a, you know, pole or contraption, and it just wraps around inside the car in a 360, degree motion, capturing the, action all the way around, and it doesn't cut. That means that while they were recording that, it, essentially they couldn't have been any mistakes, because they had to just go with it, and it was a perfect scene, and I thought that was pretty awesome. It's something that's really hard to do. Very reminiscent of the Daredevil fight scenes. How there is no cut; it's just one fluid motion from the beginning of the fight scene to the end, and those are really hard to do. Kind of like the same thing. So bravo to the cinematic director and all those people on that. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, I did like how they focused a little bit more on Clint Barton, our original Hawkeye, because the first two episodes you could kind of see that they were focusing on Kate Bishop because some people argue that this is her show. I don't think it is her show. I think it's both of their shows, but I think they used the first two episodes to kind of introduce her, and now they're dialing it back and kind of focusing more on Hawkeye, the guy that we know, and his struggles with the Ronin suit, his family, and his resistance to be as well known or out there like the other superheroes that he associates himself with. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, the the big thing I want to talk about that everyone's probably talking about is who is Echo's uncle. In the flashback scene, and I think it's like at the 5 minute mark, her father mentions something about like, oh, your uncle came to see you. Then he moves out of the way. You see somebody in like this, pitch black suit, and like, presses her cheek, and he laughs. And then that's it. You don't see anything. You don't see anything else. And then I think later on in the episode, one of the tracksuit mafias refers to her uncle. He's like, hey, do you think your uncle will be okay with this? Because he's the one running the show. Because she's kind of like the person, the supervisor in charge, but I guess her uncle's like the GM or whatever of this, crime syndicate, if you will. And a lot of people were wondering, like, who is it? You know, most bets are on Kingpin. It sounds like it's his laugh. You know, he looks like he has the same kind of fashion sense. So people are thinking that's going to be his introduction to the uh, broader, bigger MCU. Because obviously, Daredevil and all those people from the Netflix series are in the MCU because all those things were referenced in their shows, but they haven't really brought them into the cinematic side. And the Disney Plus shows obviously are more, I guess, attached and are affected by the MCU films. So yeah, people are really excited. I think it's him. I think they're gonna introduce him because I think they're gonna slowly bring in the Kingpin, bring in Daredevil, and things like that. I don't know how far they're gonna go into bringing the Netflix characters, but I know at least for a start, it's gonna be Kingpin and Daredevil, if they're gonna do it at all, because those are their prize, show on Netflix. They're leaps and bounds better than everything else that they had produced for the network. So I thought that was cool. I think it's him. Some people were saying that it could be her father, and that could be like a big reveal because of things that happened in the comic books. Certain things happen in the comic books that they say it could be her father, because the show has already taken liberties from the comic book that they are taking inspiration from. So that, if you're into that kind of stuff, there's a chance that it could be him. I don't think so. I would prefer it to be Kingpin. I think everybody would prefer it to be Kingpin, but who knows? But yeah, in general, I thought the episode was better than the first two. Not saying that the first two were bad in any way, shape, or form, but I kind of feel like the shows or the episodes are going to get progressively better as things start to open up. So I think the first two episodes essentially are just world building. They're creating the world that these characters are currently in, the situations, the stakes, and the parameters. And once that's out of the way, you go straight into really getting into the meat of the story and the characters and things like that. I think that's why they released it in a two episode fashion. Also, because they didn't want to drop two new episodes of two different shows at the same time, because schedule wise, that's probably what was gonna happen, because I think Boba Fett is coming out in December, which Hawkeye would have bled over into that release schedule. But again, I think the 2 episode release was smart. So yeah, I'm excited. We'll talk about episode 4 next week. If you guys have any comments, questions, theories and stuff like that, drop it in the comments. I appreciate it. If you like, share, subscribe, always the support is appreciated. I'm going back to my YouTube channel just because, like I mentioned before, the videos on Instagram aren't letting me load them. I know there's like a 30-minute limit, but for whatever reason, even if I record like a 10-minute video, it's saying that it's over 30 minutes. So I'm assuming it's because of the quality of the video that I'm doing. So I'm just gonna go back to YouTube. So anyone that was supporting me on Instagram and stuff like that, go support me on YouTube, and I appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon. I'm gonna enjoy Texas, and I'll be back in Jersey in a few days.